principles of Reggio Emilia were very overwhelming initially, but retrospectively I now understand that the greatest gift I gave myself was to actually sit for 12 months and do what might have appeared to be very little, but I actually talked to a lot of people. I joined the Reggio Emilia Australia Information Exchange immediately. I read the challenge. I went to see other people's practices, to see people who were exploring this before me and to see where they were on their journeys. And I think while that was a frustrating period of time, because I wanted to delve in and do things and change things, in my practice it was a great gift to have given myself. And I've learnt that over time. And that's taken me in my leadership roles now to understand when I'm leading other people in this journey, and we have new staff that need to begin this, have an entry point. I reflect back to the time where I began and what was really important to me, and it was actually time. I would say some of the most critical differences, which are very rewarding and very beautiful in my daily life, is the intent of educational documentation, and knowing that documentation is about research, it's about listening, and it's about knowing and believing that the documentation that you have in your centre is actually where you need to and can start with the greatest in-depth professional learning for your whole team. It's in your own work and your own practice from which you can grow as a team. That takes courage, that takes relationships, and it takes trust. And people can only have those encounters and develop themselves professionally with their teams if they themselves have trust in relationships, as we do with the children as well.
The ideas of Reggio Emilia as a state of ferment of ideas where we all collaborate to grow new possibilities and new practices. And one of the ways in which we can open the door to new versions of collaboration is to understand that the very genesis of the team and the beginnings of discussions with the team actually matter. So the way you begin working with your team when you work alongside the ideas of Reggio Emilia is a space of possibility rather than a space of persuasion. It's a space where we can listen to one another, to our opinions, to our ideas, but also to our context. And we can ask the great questions that Reggio Emilia educators ask of their context. We can ask those questions of our own situations, spaces, families and communities. We can ask them of ourselves, and we can come up with our own answers and plant our own seeds in our own soil. We too need to be able to give ourselves the time and the space to come to understand something through many elaborations, through many fermentations, so that we can understand it more fully rather than learn it and reproduce it. We're moving away from a culture where we reproduce education to children. We're moving into spaces where our own learning is in a constant state of construction and co-construction, where the value of the others around us in the context, around us in the team, are able to shape the directions that we take.
I haven't often thought about how my role as an educator has been influenced by Reggio, but I've often wondered what my life as a professional would have been like without it. I don't know that it would have been as rich in terms of my work with children, my work with families, my work with other professionals. You know, the Reggio community is an incredibly rich community of learners and researchers and thinkers, and to have that connection with others has been an absolute gift.
Oh, this is such an exciting time in education. There is so much around us in the constant dialogue on how education needs to change. Reggio Emilia gifts us with the opportunity to think deeply about what we might like our education to be and how that education could live out the most wonderful possibilities for children.